one of my favorite things to do with my son was to go to this kind of snow mountain place, and we would ride down the snow hills and play and have snowball fights, and there was a carnival there, and we got to enjoy all these things. And I'm like, now he's not here to do these things, so I don't know what Christmas looks like this year. I honestly don't know. Welcome. If this is your first time checking me out, I appreciate you doing so. Welcome to my channel. If you have been here before, welcome back, and I thank you for coming back. But yes, my name is Shay. I am a child loss mom of a 5-year-old son who I recently lost this year. I am pretty new to YouTube myself, still learning the ins and outs of this here app, and so making my first videos, I'm still a little nervous myself, so excuse all the and side notes and everything. I'm still learning, so just bear with me. But I am here now on YouTube, like I said in my previous videos, trying to connect with other moms like myself and just share my experience with child loss, how I've gotten to where I am now, and just things I plan to do just based off another mom's experience, or just working with my own grief coach. And so that's kind of what we're doing today, is actually discussing surviving the holidays. Now, I do want to give a disclaimer. These tips may or may not help you. They may or may not help me, okay? But we are going to try them out together and see how we actually fare, in the holiday season. Because like I said, I'm pretty early myself, and I am trying these things. I'm trying different things out myself as I research and I speak with my grief coach, and I'm in support groups, just trying to share the knowledge, share the wealth. But these things may or may not help you. They're just small tips. If you feel like your pain is just too great, I highly encourage you to get some support, seek treatment via support groups or one-on-one counseling. I actually do both myself, me and my son, so I highly recommend at least having that extra layer of support through either of those channels. But yes, so like I said, today we're surviving the holidays, or at least we're gonna attempt to. I also wanted to mention that I do have some resources that I will share below, so just check out my description below. But so number one is going to be acknowledging your grief. You really cannot do anything until you're able to do that, until you allow yourself to feel, allow yourself to sit in the moment that you're in. That's really kind of the foundation of trying to heal and move forward, is acknowledging and giving yourself time to grieve and feel. Side note, I actually did that yesterday. That's actually another tip I got from my grief coach, was to set aside time to grieve, and that is what I did yesterday. It was really hard, because I feel like I've been just going and going and going and not acknowledging, not stopping, not, and trying to get, these things just going. Like one thing, I'm trying to work on my son's nonprofit, but I've just been going and going and going. And, yesterday or the day before, I was like, no, tomorrow I am going to set aside time. And that is what I did. I took about an hour or two, and I just laid on the floor. I laid on the floor next to his ashes, and I just read, and then I journaled, and I was able to release, or release as much as I can, because this is a lifelong journey. So I was able to sit there with myself, feel what I felt, feel my feelings, deal with them, acknowledge them, release, cry out, and just take that time for me, because I really feel like it's important. You really, not all of the grief and burden will lift in those moments, but it will lighten a lot of what you're feeling, and it's really helpful. It's really helpful. So yes, set aside time to grieve so you can acknowledge your grief and your pain. So number 2 is planning ahead. This may be helpful just in the sense that having a plan, of action versus trying to go with the flow may be best at the moment, because like we know we may change our mind at any moment, which we will actually also talk about, is the flexibility that we should actually have for ourselves. But it can actually provide some structure, and it can actually, you know, give you a sense of control, which we don't often feel while we're grieving. It can be very helpful, having a plan of action, you know, and actually also involving other people in those plans too, to kind of help, you know, share the load. Because like if you're like me and you have other children, you kind of really just can't ignore the holidays. You have to do something, because they still, you know, need their mom, dad. They still need you, you know, and so you still have to make, you know, time for them, and still doing the same things you've done before. So planning ahead, creating a plan, trying to stick to it, trying to share the load. It may be helpful to kind of break those plans down into, you know, separate holidays. The other thing too is to kind of have a schedule, try to create one that would actually, you know, and even leading up to the actual holiday, it may be good to have a plan in place to get, you know, small tasks done the days leading up to the actual holiday, and sharing the load with friends and families or whoever you plan to spend your holidays with. But yeah, sharing the load, breaking those tasks up for friends and family. Another, I guess, part of planning ahead could be, you know, starting or sharing memories to incorporate your lost loved one, which is actually something I plan to do. Which will kind of bring me a little piece of happiness, you know, to feel like he's here with us. And I'll probably share a link, but I actually took this from, you know, one of his birthday parties, and it is a photo string that I'm gonna hang over our mantle, and it'll have like different, it's probably space for like 12 pictures, but I'm just gonna have like, you know, put pictures of him and us throughout the years on that photo string. I think it's a memory. I don't know. I think it's like Christmas garland type thing. But yes, that's one of the ways I plan to incorporate my son. So, but I'll put that in the description as well. If you're curious on what I'm talking about, I'll probably put it like here somewhere too. Just a little snapshot. But yes, finding ways to incorporate your loved one, I think, you know, would be amazing. Just to feel like they're still here, they're still a part of this, they're still a part of your family, and that you are acknowledging them, that, you know, that they are still here, you know, with us. And so I think that's, you know, it's pretty cool too. The other thing too, you may want to think about scheduling some time, because like I said, I do it myself, with balancing alone time and social time. Which is funny, right? Because I feel like, you know, if you're like me, you don't go nowhere, no way. So sometimes I feel like I have to schedule my social time, and there is nothing wrong with that. I feel like it's the perfect balance, having time to yourself versus, you know, penciling time for others. But whenever you need to take a break, go take your break. Don't be ashamed. Just let someone know, I just need a break for a second. You know, I'll be right back. Just need a moment to myself, but I'm coming right back. It is perfectly fine. And like I said, because once you get going into these things, you may feel overwhelmed that your person isn't here, they're not able to engage in these things with you, and so it may get overwhelming. And if you need that time, just know that it's perfectly okay, and your loved ones, the people that you're planning with and you're around, they will absolutely understand, and it is okay. The other thing I was going to say too is having flexibility in planning. Like I also was just saying, it is important that, and if they're around you, I feel like they already know, because going through grief, it's a yes right now at 5 o'clock, but at 6 o'clock, we done changed our mind. It's a no now. And so I would just beforehand express that to them, so that they are aware that at any moment, things can change as our feelings change, and as some of these things may become overwhelming. So, and that's okay. It is understandable. They will be fine, and they will understand. The other part to planning ahead, I would say, would be modifying your traditions to accommodate your grief. And a lot of these things kind of just communicating with your loved ones who you're planning with, just to give them the heads up. But one of those ways in modifying could look like identifying possible triggers for you. You know, if you know, your loved one used to be here for something, you know, just letting them know like, hey, that might be a trigger for me. I don't know if I'll be okay with that. Or, you know, trying to work around that trigger, trying to find something else that, you know, could take the place of. But absolutely, it's important to recognize that and acknowledge that, you know, that some of these things may be triggering for you, obviously, because your loved one isn't here. The other thing too would be communication with your loved ones. I think it's really important that you keep an open communication with them, because that's what they want. They want to be there for you as best as they can, but they're not going to know unless you're telling them what you need, what you feel, and how you're holding up as the planning is going along. If some things need to change, just a direction or anything, like just having that open communication with them, they will be happy and greatly appreciative of, so that they are best supporting you. The other thing would be, another way that would look like is creating new rituals, you know. Actually, my own experience, I believe on Mother's Day this year, me and my oldest son, I think we went riding scooters like on the belt line, and it's like this little trail that goes through Atlanta, but that's what we did for Mother's Day. It wasn't nothing big or out of the ordinary, because I know I still had to acknowledge it. So we created a new ritual, and that was riding scooters on Mother's Day. And it was just basically, it was just time for me and him by ourselves. It was just a little date day for me and him by ourselves. You know, just to acknowledge each other, our grief, and especially sin. And it was rough. It was hard, but you know, we did it, we got through it. And yeah, it was just a new ritual that we created. Another way with planning ahead is to find a way to honor your loved one. And like I was saying earlier, how I'm going to do like the photo garland. That's an idea. I know I've heard of moms who still buy presents for their babies. I've thought about that one. I may do it, but I'm not sure yet. But actually, I love the idea, you know, because any way you can keep them here and with you and acknowledging them, it doesn't feel like they're, you know, gone, you know, but that, you know, you still love them. You're still trying to make them a part of your life moving forward, which is extremely important. That you remember, you don't have to forget them, but that you can still include them in, you know, your everyday living, which you absolutely should. The other way too, though, is scaling back. That is all I've done this year. Is like I said, I've been in the house. Like, I really have not been acknowledging these holidays because it just don't feel the same no more. They don't. And that's kind of what my whole year has been like. Like, I have a cousin who's been trying to come here for Thanksgiving, and I'm just like, I'll let you know. No, I'm not doing nothing. I'm staying in my house. That may change, hence flexibility. But for now, I think we're just gonna have a quiet day for Thanksgiving. I'm not sure about Christmas. Christmas is a little different, but I think that just kind of goes into having the flexibility. The other thing too, embracing change. We don't have a choice now, do we? We do not have a choice in this. Our whole life has changed, you know, and it's going to take time. But eventually I feel like, and my hope is that, you know, we will embrace it, and that right now it doesn't feel good, but it will be okay. It will be all right. It just takes time. It takes work. You have to work at your healing. And a part of that is embracing where you are right now, acknowledging the growth that you've had, the growth you will have. Because essentially that's just what grief is, you know. This is us. I'm pretty sure everybody's seen this little demonstration, but this is grief, and all we do is grow around it. The ball kind of gets smaller, we learn to carry it better, but for the most part, we just grow around it because we'll always carry it with us. We'll always carry them with us. But yes, just embracing change. But so number 3, seeking support. That can be from friends, family, loved ones. But what I highly recommend is getting into a support group, possibly locally, so that you can have some face-to-face interaction. But there are some that are online. As well, I would recommend having a grief coach or getting into therapy, so that you're doing one-on-one and that they can work with you, help you work through your feelings, through your emotions, trauma, if you've experienced it, you know, with grief. But and help you working through your grief in itself, I highly recommend that you seek support, especially if it becomes overwhelming during the holidays. I highly recommend that you do that for yourself and for your loved ones who want to be there for you, who want to make sure that you're okay. Absolutely try seeking out some help during the holidays and even outside of it. And I will absolutely put some resources below because like I said, I have a grief coach myself who has been absolutely amazing. Her story, wow, I mean, if she isn't walking hope, I don't know what is. Like, she has been a tremendous beacon of light for myself in this unbearable journey. And then I am in a support group, but like I said, I will make a future video about support groups because you really do have to be careful in some of these groups. Like, some of these people want to be stuck, and it can be a lot for you to carry, especially when you're already not feeling the best and feeling the greatest. You go to these groups to, yes, find people who are also, you know, like you and possibly struggling, but I feel like if you're going to seek help, that means you're going to find hope. You're going to find someone who you can look to, you know, for hope, who's gone through it, who's, you know, been through it, who isn't stuck in grief, but has I'm not gonna say overcome, you'll never overcome this, but has found a positive way to live through and move forward with their grief. That's the whole point of you seeking support. So some of these support groups, I would just say to be cautious on them, because a lot of them can keep you stuck. But yes, I highly recommend you do that. And it's just like therapy, okay? I'm a veteran, so I've had my share of therapy and I wholeheartedly believe in therapy, okay? But it took me a couple times to find the right therapist. I've had I'm not gonna tell y'all, but I've had my share of therapy or therapist. And sometimes it takes, it takes bouncing around for you to find your perfect person. You know, not every therapist is going to be right for you, and that is okay. That's why there's a lot of them out there. So it may take a couple of tries to find the right support group. That's okay. But like I said, I will put that information below because I highly recommend that, as well as a grief coach or counselor. Number 4, my personal fave, self-care. I cannot express that enough. It is super important to put some time aside for yourself and your mental health, especially while grieving, but really through the holidays. Things start to, become a lot for you. Your brain's just working overtime. You probably had 50 million resets to day one. And just a lot is probably just going on within. Anxiety levels are probably on 10. Some depression may be creeping in. And so self-care, absolutely plan it. It may be even good to just let things flow on those actual holiday days. If this isn't working out as planned, that it's okay. Things are going to happen as they're supposed to. It is completely fine. Let it go. Because if you don't, all you're going to do is make your anxiety creep up to 100 by sitting there and worrying about all that stuff. So another is practicing self-compassion. Giving yourself grace. We're dealing with a lot and it is okay. It's completely fine. Like, give yourself grace and time, to feel and be. Like, you don't get down on yourself if something isn't going as planned. It's really okay. It's not the end of the world. Give yourself grace for even trying. That is a huge deal that you are trying. So yes, have self-compassion for yourself. Another is mindfulness and relaxation. Another favorite of mine. Go to the spa, schedule you a spa day. Go outside and walk in nature. That's another one of my faves, is being outside and being one with nature. But yes, having time to yourself. Go on a drive. Go on a quiet drive. Another one of my faves. Just going on a nice quiet drive, letting the windows down. If it's not cold where you at. But if it is, go on a nice quiet drive or play music. That's another way to grieve too. Play some gospel music, inspirational music, a favorite playlist, favorite song. But yes, mindfulness, relaxation. Do something to relax yourself and calm yourself, and calm your nervous system and your anxiety. Another is prioritizing your physical well-being. Obviously, we know that means exercising and eating well. I know it's the holidays, but which is usually when we put on them pounds. But no, try to have some portion controls, some water here and there, a salad or two. Okay, I gotta take that into advisement myself. But yes, yes. So physical well-being, we absolutely have to keep that in mind. Another way is expressing creativity. Another favorite of mine is actually coloring, drawing. Get you a mindfulness coloring book. Get a grief journal, or what else? Just other ways to express yourself through art. Take an art class, the paint and sip classes, try those out. Those are other ways. But yeah, express yourself through creativity. So number 5 is going to be honoring memories. 8 ways to honor your loved one. One thing you could do is do an activity centered around them, centered around remembering them, so that you're incorporating them in this day or in these holidays. Do something to remember them. Do something that they used to enjoy. Read a favorite book of theirs. Draw a picture for them. Write a letter to them or for them. You can even do, like I said, put pictures around the house of them, or have a photo garland, hang it on the tree or the mantle. But yes, just find an activity to do that will honor them and honor their memory. Find lots of fun stuff that you're able to do to just incorporate them and to include them in the holiday season and today, so that they are remembered, that we are remembering them, we are acknowledging them. So number 6 is going to be setting boundaries for yourself. Yes, you heard me right. Setting boundaries for yourself. It is extremely important that you do this, because if you don't, all you're gonna do is send your anxiety levels up 10 notches. It's important to let people know how you're feeling in that moment. It's okay to express those feelings so that they know, so that they're able to help you and support you through those times. It's okay to say no. It's perfectly fine. Let them know, like, hey, this is something I want to do, or I'm not comfortable with this, or this is a trigger for me, or this, isn't a good memory for me, or this just isn't a good time right now. Just give me some space. I promise I'll be back. But yeah, just communicating really honestly is just what it is. You're just letting them know that just not right now, maybe later. Just not right now. Set those boundaries. It's perfectly fine. But yes, honestly, it's for yourself and your mental health, but it's also that they are able to support you as best as they can, because they absolutely want to. They know how hard it is for you, even for themselves, if they are experiencing their own grief or missing their own, loved ones and stuff. I would encourage you to share that message with them too, that setting boundaries is absolutely okay and something that absolutely needs to be done, especially during the holiday season. Number 7 is probably my favorite, because I do this all the time. It's probably bad, but yes. Number 7, embracing flexibility. Flexibility, flexibleness. Okay, being flexible. Okay, like I say, at 5 o'clock it's yes, but at 6 it might be no, and that's okay. Once again, communication. Just communicate that so they know what to expect. And be honest with yourself too. Like, it is perfectly fine to be flexible. While you're going through something, it sounds nice right now, but once we get to this activity, this might be too hard for me right now. Like, it's just bringing up too many emotions, and right now I just can't handle it, or y'all just give me 5 minutes. It's completely okay. Nobody's going to pester you about this, and if somebody is, just tell them to back off. Now is not the time. It's my own grief. This is my own journey. These are my feelings. Let me handle how I see fit, and it is okay. You really just don't know. And that is just really what grief is honestly, sometimes it's day by day, but for most of us, it's second by second, okay? That is mostly how we are living, especially in these early days. And so having flexibility is really key to surviving the holidays, honestly. Because Thanksgiving might have went cool, you know. Halloween was great. But here we are at Christmas, probably your loved one's favorite holiday, and they aren't here to enjoy, you know, the singing and the shows and the outings. And, you know, one of my favorite things to do with my son was to go to this kind of snow mountain place, and we were riding down the snow hills and play and have snowball fights, and there was a carnival there, and we got to enjoy all these things. And I'm like, you know, now he's not here to do these things, so I don't know what Christmas looks like this year. I honestly don't know. But yes, I am happy that I have the flexibility to choose what I want to do, and am thankful that nobody's pressuring me to do anything. Everyone's just kind of been kind of supportive and just like, hey, what are you doing? Do you want company? Do you want us to come around? You're more than welcome to come over. Can we come over? What are you doing? Do you need anything? Those are your people, and that's who you need. The people who truly understand that every day is not the same, and that's just grief in general. But yes, those are just some of my little tidbits for surviving the holidays. Like I said myself, this is actually my first holiday season without my baby. I have no idea how this is about to go. Just like yesterday was rough. I set aside my time to grieve, and then I was just drained the rest of the day. But on the other side, my 11-year-old still deserves to have a good holiday season. And I'm going to give him that no matter what. And I will find ways to incorporate my baby in those activities and in those things. Even though it's going to be rough, but yeah. I'm about to get off here before I cry. So yes, hopefully, you know, some of these things you will find helpful. I'll probably actually do a video after the holiday season to see how I made it out. And then I would love to see how you all do as well. And per usual, if you know any moms who are in my position who lost their baby, please share this video with them. Please share the information with me. I would love to talk to them, and like I said, maybe we can do a video series together. I would absolutely love. And again, like I always ask, please share any resources you have with me, especially for the holiday season. I would greatly appreciate it. So that me and my son could take, you know, advantage of it, because I know they're out there. But I'll share some of my resources below, like I said. But yes, until next time, happy holidays. I hate to say good luck to us all. I guess, you know, just sending prayers, you know, to everyone. And as usual, sending virtual hugs and love.